morning. Please start by coming to a seated position on your mat. Close your eyes and begin to slow your breathing. Become more aware of your body. Find your center of gravity, your center for alignment. Feel your spine lengthen and support yourself as you relax into this position. Inhale your hands together at heart center. Take a moment to bow into your heart and thank yourself for coming to your practice today, for showing up for yourself. Let this be a practice today of nurturing yourself. Do what feels good, what feels right, and follow your intuition. Find a little bit of play in the poses. Explore what feels good for you. This is how we get to enjoy everything we do, even when it's not our idea or it's an obligation that we have. Can we find a way to do it our way so it feels good to us? Roll over onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes up under in your tabletop position. Pedal your hands into the mat, beginning to wake up the wrists, the palms, the fingers, and really plugging in through the four corners of our hands, maybe creating claws or like suctions with our fingers so that we can weight down evenly through our hands. Just pedal back and forth on both of your hands. And then come into stillness. Rock the weight of your hands to the inner edge of your hands and see if you can lift your pinky side of your palm off the mat without lifting your wrists. And then rock over to the pinky side, lifting your inner edge of your palms off the mat. So using your breath, follow your breath and just rock from the inside to the outside, beginning to wake up the wrists, both stretching and strengthening them. Your fingers are wide and your thumbs are in a soft J. Your wrist creases should be facing the front of the room. Just continue rocking back and forth. It looks like such an easy movement, but you should be feeling this by now. If you aren't already, then that's fine. Come into stillness. Begin to walk your fingertips to the sides of the room. Just slowly pawing your hand into the mat, pointing your fingertips to the sides of the room, and then eventually begin spinning them back towards yourself. Continue pawing your hands. When your fingers are pointing towards your knees, bend your knees a little bit, giving the backs of your wrists just a little bit of a stretch. Never move into pain, but just a little bit of discomfort helps us grow. So feel what needs a little stretch here and breathe into that space. Create softness with your breath. Begin to walk your palms back to the outsides of the room, and then eventually back forward towards the top of your mat. Pawing your way there, plugging in through those four corners. And then flip your palms so the top of your hands are on the mat, fingers pointing towards the front of your mat. And then just walk your hands towards each other, fingertips pointing inwards. And then walk the back of your hands towards your knees. When your fingertips are pointing towards your knees, just bend your knees a little bit and give the backs of your wrists a stretch. Breathe. We never move into pain, so only do what feels good here. And breathe. Come back onto your palms. You can sit back onto your feet for a moment, toes curled under. And then rotate your wrists like you're trying to twist light bulbs in. See if you can spin your wrists and your fingers as much as you can in both directions. Lift your arms above your head and really extend your arms so they're almost kind of pulling out of your arm sockets. Twisting your light bulb. And then bring your shoulders into your arms into their sockets so your shoulders are not extended. And then continue twisting your fingers in both directions as much as you can, like you're twisting in that light bulb. Beautiful. Come back onto your hands and knees. Toes are curled under. Inhale. Drop your belly. Lift your sitting bones. Lift your gaze. This is your cow pose. Exhale. Curve your spine towards the ceiling. Tailbone comes in. Gaze looks in. Cat pose. Inhale. Back to cow. Tailbone lifts. Gaze lifts. And exhale back through cat. Spine curves towards the ceiling. Press into your shoulders and look towards your tailbone. Inhale back to cow. And exhale back to cat. Pulsing with the breath. Warming up the spine. Can you find a little extra movement here? See if you can kind of swing into your pose. Continue this pulsation. 3 more breaths. Two more. Last one. Come into stillness in your tabletop position. Extend your left leg back behind you. Open your hips so your toes are pointing to the side of the room. And bend your knee, bringing your knee back up towards your elbow. Extend your leg back. Do this 4 more times. Following the breath. Next time your leg's extended back, point your toes down to the ground and then bring your knee to meet your other knee. Inhale, lift your right knee or right leg back behind you. Exhale, point your toes towards the side of the room. Inhale, draw your right knee in towards your right elbow. Exhale back. Do this 4 more times. Slowing your breath. And the next time you go back, point your toes down towards the mat and exhale your knee down. Send your glutes towards your heels. Your toes are still curled under. Extend your arms out in front of you and tense your fingers like you've got cupcakes under your hands and you don't want to crush the frosting. Lift the underlining of your arms so you have more space for your head and heart to melt towards the earth. Your shoulder blades should be sort of tucking together onto your back, allowing your heart to open up. This is your puppy dog pose. Breathe here. You can find a little sway, perhaps. Find what feels good today. Nurture a sense of play and exploration. This is your practice. Do what feels good. Come into stillness if you found some movement. And then come up through tabletop and press into your hips, up and back into downward facing dog. You can pedal your feet out for a moment. Inhale, come high onto the ball mounds of your feet. Press into your hands so your shoulder blades are together. Your heart is melting. And exhale, on your next exhale, drop both of your heels towards the right side of the room. Feel the stretch along the left side of your body. Make sure you're weighted evenly in both hands. Breathe here. Inhale, come high onto the ball mounds of your feet. And exhale, let your heels swing to the right side of the room. Weighted both evenly in both hands. Feel the stretch along the right side of your body. Breathe. Come high onto the ball mounds of your feet and exhale, let your heels drop to the center. Feel them being grounded by the earth. Look towards your hands. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, open and stack your hips. Inhale your leg back. And exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Drop your left knee. If you need some blocks here, grab them and put them right by your hips. If you don't have blocks, see if you can reach for some sort of balancing object around you so that you can help your chest stay open and supported. And if you need a little extra knee cushion, grab it. You can also roll up the side of your mat here and put your knee on that for extra support. Extend your lunge, so step your right foot forward. Take a moment to breathe. Inhale, send your glutes back. Flex your right foot towards your face. Exhale, lunge into your right leg. Feel the stretch along your left psoas, your hip flexor. Inhale back. And exhale forward. Continue pulsing with your breath. See if you can find a rhythm here with your breath, with your movement, that feels like flow to you. Maybe that means you need to soften your face a little bit. Slow your breathing down. Find your rhythm. Last one. The next time you lunge forward, plant your hands and step back into downward facing dog. You can pedal out your feet here and then come into stillness, letting your heels be heavy. Take a breath. Inhale, lift your left leg back behind you. Exhale, open and stack your hips. Inhale your leg back. And exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Drop your right knee. Grab some cushion if you need to. Roll up the side of your mat. And reach for your balancing objects. Extend your lunge. Inhale, send your glutes back towards your heel. Flex your front foot towards your face. And exhale, lunge into your front foot. Feel that stretch along your right psoas. Continue pulsing with your breath. Find your own unique rhythm. Just take 2 more breaths here. Let's make them really slow, really deliberate. The next time you lunge forward, plant your hands to frame your front foot and actually step back into a high plank. You can drop your knees to the mat if you need to. Tuck your elbows into your sides and lower down chaturanga. Create a pillow for your head and bend your knees so they're at 90 degrees. And just windshield wiper your feet from side to side, giving your low back a little bit of a stretch. And then come into stillness. Bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Point your fingertips towards the front of the room, planting your palms into the mat. See if you can draw your shoulder blades together, and as you do, bring your neck back, creating such a slight tuck of your chin that aligns your neck with the rest of your spine. Your shoulder blades are together, opening your heart, and your gaze follows the direction of your heart. Breathe here. This is your Sphinx Pose. Beautiful. Press through your hands. Bring your knees wider than hip width apart, big toes together, and sit your glutes back. Extend your arms out in front of you. If this hurts your shoulders, you can also bring your arms behind you and let your arms rest on the mat like this. Or you can open up more through your heart by having your arms extended out in front of you and let your forehead meet the earth. Just breathe here. This is your child's pose. One of the most nurturing poses. We open our legs to create room for our bodies to melt forward. This is a yin pose, meaning a feminine pose, where we're not actively engaged, we're relaxed and we're receiving. What can you give yourself here that you can receive? Press into your hands and curl your toes under, hips up and back into downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg back behind you. And exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Drop your left heel so you're in a front heel to back arch alignment. And inhale your arms parallel to the floor, fingertips pointing to the front and back of the room. This is your warrior two. Feel your knee, your front knee tracking over your ankle, which helps your hips open up. Draw your tailbone down towards the earth. Inhale. And exhale, drop your right forearm to your right thigh. Reach your left arm up and overhead. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, drop your left arm, lift your right arm up and overhead. This is your reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, side angle pose, forearm to thigh, arm overhead. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, back to reverse warrior. Continue flowing like this for a few more breaths. Find some flow, a rhythm, a sense of grace here that makes you feel good. Can you find some movement that makes you feel beautiful, makes you feel soft, but also strong? Channeling your inner grace. The next time you exhale, windmill your hands to plant around your front foot and step back into downward facing dog. Come into stillness in your feet. As you press into your hands, bring your shoulder blades together and breathe as you allow your heels to draw towards the earth. Inhale your left leg back behind you. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands, drop your right heel, so you're in a front heel to back arch alignment, and inhale your arms parallel to the earth, pointing to the front and back of the room. Lunge into your front foot, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, drop your left forearm to your left thigh. Reach your right arm up and overhead. Actively engage through the right side of your body. Reach. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Left arm comes up and overhead. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, side angle pose. Continue flowing between your warriors and your side angle. And find that flow that feels right to you. Maybe it feels natural and maybe it doesn't for you. But find what feels good. See if you can slow your breathing down and really absorb each and every moment through each of your transitions and poses. The next time you exhale, plant your hands to frame your front foot and step back into downward facing dog. Inhale to high plank. Exhale, you can drop your knees if you need to. Tuck your elbows lower down. Roll over onto your back for a moment. Bring your heels towards your glutes and your hands, your fingertips pointing towards your heels. Windshield wiper your legs from side to side and see if you can make sure your shoulder blades are anchored so they're not lifting here. Come into stillness. Press into your hands, the back of your head, and your feet as you lift your hips towards the ceiling. This is your bridge pose. Breathe here. And then lower your hips down towards the earth. Come up to a seated position. Face the long edge of your mat. And extend your legs out to the sides of you as much as you can. Find your sitting bones. So take your hands and literally shift your glutes back so you can root your sitting bones into the earth. Flex your toes towards your face. Inhale, grow long, bring your shoulders up and back, and then exhale, begin to walk your hands forward. Now, this is not easy and you're most likely not going to go very far. I can't go very far. It's not about depth, it's about alignment, and it's about what feels good. That's how we guide ourselves to where we want to go. Make sure your feet are actively engaged. They're flexing towards your face. There's no laziness here. And just see if with every inhale, can you lengthen your spine more? And with every exhale, can you walk your hands just a little bit more forward? So my hands are not extended like this. That rounds my back. They're just a little bit ahead of me so that it can help walk me forward. Always remember your breath. Remember to soften, even in your moments of strength. Can you soften into the moment and feel what you feel? Beautiful. Walk your hands back. Use your hands to close your legs like a book. And then roll over onto your knees, still facing the long edge of your mat. Toes curled under. And then extend your left leg out alongside you, toes pointing towards the long edge of your mat. Grounding through the four corners of your left foot. Inhale, both arms up and overhead. Exhale, let your right arm meet the earth as you reach your left arm up and overhead. And breathe here. See if you can feel a line from the edge of your left foot running through the left side of your body and out your fingertips. Every part of your left side of your body is engaged. Even your fingertips. Can you stretch and reach and breathe? Inhale your left arm up. Right arm comes off the ground. You can bring your left knee to meet your right knee and tuck your toes under. Extend your right foot out alongside you, toes pointing to the long edge of your mat. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, drop your left arm towards the side, fingertips pointing to the front of the room, and reach your right arm up and overhead. Fingertips are actively engaged, actively reaching. Breathe. And this is a beautiful stretch for your body. Take a moment to feel into everything. Nothing is wrong here. Can you actively participate so we're not falling into this pose? We are so engaged. Soften your face. Inhale, your arms back up. Drop your knee. Sit your toes are still curled under, and sit your glutes back towards your heels. This is your Thunderbolt Posture. It stretches out the backs of your feet. And it's not easy, so don't put all your weight on your feet here. Support yourself. This is stretching and strengthening your feet and your toes. One more breath. Beautiful. Face the front of your mat, toes curled under. Press up and back into downward facing dog. Look towards your hands. You can step or hop up to the top of your mat and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders come back, neck draws back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweep your arms up and overhead. Palms together, down through heart center and alongside your hips. Turn to face the long edge of your mat here. Bring your feet wider than hip width apart and point your toes just slightly inwards of your heels, just slightly. Bend your knees generously, hands on your hips, core is engaged, tailbone drawing down towards the earth. With a bend in your knees, you can generously bend your knees here or just slightly bend your knees. begin to forward fold towards the earth. So the more you have a bend in your knees here, the more you're going to be able to let your torso hang. So this is not about stretching out the backs of your legs right now, even though you should be feeling that. This is about letting your torso hang. So bend into your knees so you can allow that to happen. Arms should be out in front of, or like just below your head, supporting you so you don't rock forward. Inhale, halfway lift here. Exhale, fold. Begin to straighten out the backs of your legs in this fold without actually allowing your torso to lift. Inhale, root to rise, bend into your knees and sweep your torso up. Bring your hands together behind you, interlacing your fingers, and just draw your arms down towards the earth. Feel your shoulder blades, opening up, and breathe into your chest. With knees generously bent and your arms engaged, your shoulder blades engaged behind you, begin to melt forward. Arms come behind you and feel the stretch. So here you can leave your knees generously bent, or you can begin to straighten them out, to stretch out the backs of your legs. And see if you can let gravity assist your arms so that you can give yourself a bit of a stretch here. If this is painful for your shoulders, then don't let gravity do anything. Stay engaged, shoulder blades squeezing together, giving the front of your shoulders a stretch. Inhale, halfway lift, arms to the earth. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. And just exhale here for a moment. We're going to do this again. This time, interlace your hands in the opposite way behind your back. So if your left thumb was on top before, now your right thumb is going to be on top. Inhale, draw your shoulders together and down. And exhale, forward fold. Actively engage your shoulder blades together onto your back. Your knees may have a soft bend in them here. You can extend your arms up towards the ceiling engaged, or you can let gravity begin to help your arms back behind you, helping you stretch just a little bit more. Do what feels right for you. Two more breaths here. Beautiful. Bring your hands right beneath you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Step your heels in one notch, so now your toes are on the outside of your heels, feet pointing to the corners of the room. Walk your toes in one more, and then walk your heels in one more. So you're still in a stance that's wider than hip width apart, toes pointing to the outside of the room, to the corners of the room, but not quite as wide as we were. Take a moment to feel into your foundation, find your alignment along your spine, tailbone draws down, belly button to spine. Inhale your shoulders up, back, and down. Let your palms flip open to the sides of the room. Close your eyes and just feel into your foundation here, the foundation of your feet. Maybe lift your toes for a second so you can feel your arches engage and the ball mounds of your big toes plugging into the earth. And then gently let your toes relax to the earth, maintaining that engagement in your feet. Inhale your palms together at heart center. And exhale, begin to sit into your squat. So you can go as low as you're able to go, and use, if you're able to make it as far as I am, press your your elbows into your knees. This is your Malasana squat. Breathe. Maybe smile when things get tough. Can you do what feels good for you? What feels right? Take 2 more breaths here. You absolutely can do it. Press your hands into the earth. Rock forward onto your hands and help yourself lift out of the squat. And forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Walk your feet together underneath your hips. Palms come towards each other, and exhale, hands down through heart center and alongside your hips. Beautiful job, everyone. We're going to try a bit of a tricky one right now. So find your mountain pose. From here, you might want to have some blocks in front of you, a balancing object in front of or around you. Find your mountain pose, which is your feet right underneath your hips. For women, this does not mean the outside of your hips, it means your hip bones, which are right in the center of your legs. And your feet are in number 11s, exactly parallel to one another. They're not pointing outwards or inwards. Just find that alignment. It might not feel natural at first, but it's realigning our bodies. Bend into your knees, tuck your tailbone. As you straighten your knees, draw your belly button in, your shoulders up and back. Let your palms slip open in your mountain pose. Close your eyes and feel this pose for a moment. Draw your neck back, aligning your neck with the rest of your spine. If you need to, begin to reach for your balancing object forward ahead of you, and as you do, lift your right heel up and back behind you. And see if you can extend your arms out in front of you. This is your warrior 3 pose. This is a tricky one. I need a balancing object too. Don't feel bad about that. It's always about our safety first. Whew. So that was our warrior 3. If you need to, find your alignment again. You can try to pick it up where you lost it if you lost your balance, or you can start back from mountain pose. Sometimes that's how you find your balance better. And my body's not having any of this today. That's okay. Some days are easier than others. Don't let that be, don't let that define you. Let your right foot meet your left foot in forward fold. Beautiful. Thanks for trying, guys. Thank yourself for trying. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Arms up and overhead. Palms together down through heart center and alongside your hips. Feel your mountain pose. Shift your weight to your right foot. Begin to lift your left foot off the ground. Lift your heel back behind you, and as you do, let your torso come forward. If you need to here, reach for your balancing object. Arms out in front of you. This is your warrior 3. One leg may be different than the other. No side of your body is better or worse. They're both exactly what they should be. And even though it may not seem perfect, can you honor the perfection in what is? Bring your left foot to meet your right foot. Forward fold. You did awesome, guys. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Sit into an imaginary chair and inhale, lift your torso up. Arms come up alongside your ears. This is your chair pose. Draw your tailbone down so your low back is not curving too much. Breathe here. Soften and smile. And then inhale, reach your arms up. Legs extend, palms together down through heart center. Beautiful. Come to sit on your mat. And then lie back down. Extend your legs. Feet wider than hip width. And let your toes fall to the sides of the room. Take a deep inhale, part your lips, and sigh. Let's do that 3 more times. One more. I lied, my counting is off. One more. And then relax. Bring the back of your head to meet, or just extend the back of your head so that your neck is almost meeting the earth, aligning your neck with the rest of your spine. Perhaps tuck your shoulder blades just a little bit more onto your back. We're going to do a little bit of breath work here, and then we're going to allow our bodies to breathe themselves. So inhale for a count of 3. Fill your lungs and your belly as much as you can with your air in those 3 breaths. Pause at the top. Exhale for a count of 4. Pause at the bottom of your breath. Inhale for a count of 4. Pause at the top and exhale for a count of 5. Pause at the bottom. Inhale for a count of 5. Pause at the top and exhale for a count of 6, so slowing your breathing down here. Pause at the bottom and inhale for a count of 6. Pause at the top and exhale for a count of 7. And allow yourself to breathe normally. Relax the muscles in your face, in your scalp, your ears. Relax your throat, your neck and your shoulders. Relax your arms and hands and each one of your fingers. Relax your chest and your belly, your hips and your back. Relax the muscles in your legs and your glutes, even your knees. Bless me. Relax your shins and your calves, your ankles. See if you can even relax your heels, the tops and the arches of your feet, the balls of your feet, and each one of your toes. When we pass our awareness over each part of our body, can you feel it both relax and enliven with your beautiful energy? Is it a tingling? Is it just an awareness? What do you feel? Don't intellectualize it, just feel it for a moment. Feel into your body. This is your home. Allow yourself to be held. Allow your body to breathe itself. And realize that you are not your body, but you have a body. Can you be grateful for this home right now? Send your body love and gratitude for carrying you and holding you. Stay with the awareness in your body. Allow yourself not to think or plan right now. Can you use this time just to feel, to connect, and to give gratitude? This is a practice, and it does get easier. Stay with the sensations of your body. Begin to find some movement in your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet, wrists and ankles. Bring your feet together and bring your hands together up and overhead. Give yourself a stretch. And then roll over onto your right side. Use your bicep as a pillow and rest here for a moment. And press into your hands and come up to a seated position. Bring your palms together at heart center. Press into your palms, and as you do, press your shoulder blades together. Feel how that opens up your heart. Take a moment to bow into your heart and thank yourself for nurturing yourself today by coming to your practice, by taking the time. Thank you so much for coming. The light and the shadow in me bows to and acknowledges the light and the shadow in each of you. Namaste. I hope you all find the time to nurture yourself today, to do what feels good. Thank you for showing up.